Hi, my name is Thomas Oxnes and I'm the founder of Health Optimizing. We specialize in identifying and solving health challenges from the roots. For the past 22 years, we've been building the future of health. We've been developing clinics utilizing a vast combination of high-tech methodologies to resolve the causative factors and stimulate the body's own intrinsic self-healing and self-regulating mechanisms. At this time of global scarcity and chaos, I wanted to share some important truths around how to effectively deal with the COVID-19. My fascination with the body's ability to self-heal and self-regulate came as a result of childhood illnesses. 3 of the most important systems in my body turned dysfunctional due to bad advice from the healthcare system at the time. My immune system was not able to deal with any pathogens I was exposed to, and reacted in extreme ways to allergens. From the age of 10, my respiratory functions were at the level of a heavy smoker with lung cancer. I was completely dependent on Ventolin, which actually took part in developing the problems in the first place. My digestive system was also completely dysfunctional due to excessive antibiotics wiping out my bowel flora, and I was not even able to gain normal weight. Coming from a family of top-renowned scientists, I believed in science. I trusted that the thousands of brilliant medical researchers around the world would find solutions for me. However, when I was about 19 years old, I was told by my doctor, one of the leading medical professors at the time, that I was beyond help and could never expect to live a normal life. Hearing that was, surprisingly, the most empowering moment in my life. I knew that it would become my mission to redefine the medical paradigm, and resolving my own issues would be my proof of concept. This was the catalyst behind Health Optimizing, a novel clinic concept providing real solutions to clients across 5 continents. Before getting to COVID-19, let's clarify what a virus is. It's not a living organism, it's a DNA or RNA-based program that impacts the body in 3 ways. Firstly, it makes the cells produce more of the same DNA or RNA, which is the only way the problem can accelerate. Secondly, it makes the cells behave differently to how they were programmed to function without the influence of this external program. And lastly, it triggers immune responses to fight them off. In the so-called modern medicine, the symptoms experienced as a result of this are often addressed as a problem, when in reality they're actually part of the solution. By chemically suppressing the healing processes that are responsible for these symptoms, we're working against the body's ability to resolve the issue fast and effectively. The SARS-CoV-2 virus that is the cause of the COVID-19 disease is an RNA-based virus that impacts in the same 3 ways as other viruses, though it has a couple of unique traits, one being that it's more contagious. Any measures that will improve the body's capacity to handle challenges will be beneficial, but the most important are the directly influencing factors. The first easy step you can take is to improve your diet. You can improve your capacity for self-healing by eating foods that fuel your body and do not add any unnecessary strain. But there is a dietary factor that can be directly related to your capability of dealing with viruses. When you eat proteins that you're not able to break properly down in your digestive system, these partially broken down proteins are likely to trigger an IgG immune response to neutralize them. This mechanism is an important defense against viruses, and your immune system will not be able to do its job effectively against COVID-19 if all of its capacity is utilized in dealing with partially broken down proteins. It's recommended to avoid wheat gluten and A1 casein, which is found in dairy, and if you symptomatically react to other forms of gluten or casein or other proteins, you should avoid those too. And now more than ever, it's also important to focus on getting plenty of sleep. But just as important is the quality of your sleep, and this is where some tweaks can make a dramatic difference. During sleep, all restorative processes in the body are much more effective than when you're awake. You're also much more sensitive to RF and EMF exposure, such as Wi-Fi, mobile phone signals, electrosmog. And for that reason, you can measurably improve your sleep cycle by turning off Wi-Fi at night, setting your phone on flight mode, and avoiding chargers and extension cords next to your bed. And next, try to minimize negative exposure in total. In today's society, we are exposed to many chemical toxins and sources of RF and EMF exposure that our bodies have not yet adapted to through evolution. Luckily, our self-healing and self-regulating mechanisms have incredible intrinsic detoxification capabilities and repair mechanisms. But we must make sure to keep the exposure below our capacity to deal with the threats. The most common threats and the easiest way to reduce exposure are elaborated on in this article. Cellular optimization is also incredibly beneficial. In addition to the basic factors such as proper hydration, much can be done to facilitate further cell optimization utilizing novel high-tech methodologies. And this is our core field of expertise. For 22 years, we've been developing technologies and methodologies to optimize health and continue to push the frontier. One of our 32 technologies, the Health Optimizing Cell Regulation System, is used both in clinics and for private use and can be a lifesaver in times like these. The likelihood of getting COVID-19 is pretty high, and you should be aware of how to face it if you do contract it. You should obviously follow all of the official recommendations for reducing contamination. However, we have some additional suggestions for you to overcome it more effectively once you do attract it. Firstly, do not go to the hospital unless you are forced to do so. There is no curative treatment in hospitals at present, and there's a high risk of attracting other pathogens there. The treatments given can be counterproductive, such as fever-lowering agents, and they are not supporting the only thing that can actually fight the virus, which is your immune system. Instead, stay home and allow your body to fight it off with its own intrinsic self-healing mechanisms. You also need to let your fever run. Do not take any medication that will lower your fever. Your body's reacting with the fever because it needs it in order to successfully heal itself. Your immune system's capability of fighting viruses can be 5 times more powerful at high fever than at normal body temperature. Next, stay safe from other pathogens. Don't put yourself at risk of other viruses, as this will minimize your body's capacity to effectively handle the COVID-19. Also remember to hydrate abundantly well. We recommend drinking a glass of pure water every hour in between meals. And finally, realize the power of your mind. The placebo effect is the best proven health influence there is, as all medical treatments must be tested towards placebo. So please understand that for those of you who don't already have extreme health challenges and or very high age, the fatality rate of the COVID-19 is very low. Your chances are even better when you program yourself to heal well rather than the opposite. For extreme COVID-19 cases, there exists a non-invasive solution which should ideally become accessible to the public. This is plasma light with specific pulsations that can destruct the virus nucleotides through resonance. At Health Optimizing, we have a decade of experience with plasma light, where we use frequency patterns measured with molecular spectroscopy. With our proprietary methodologies, we're able to destroy the nucleotides of the viruses in very few plasma light sessions. Examples include the Epstein-Barr virus and chronic cytomegalovirus, for which we have thousands of case studies from our clinics around the world. On average, we can eliminate these viruses in 3 sessions. There are viruses that require more sessions, but we have dealt with hundreds of different pathogens and have yet to find one that we've not been able to successfully resolve. We are currently in dialogue with health authorities in several countries and continents with whom we are providing our health optimizing IP with no commercial interest to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. As it stands now, it's likely that there will be at least 7 reputable hospitals participating in clinical trials utilizing our methodologies. These trials are planned to be commencing shortly, and we will share the results in subsequent articles. One of the biggest issues surrounding the current crisis is misunderstanding due to lack of education. Without the correct knowledge, we cannot deal with this effectively. So please read the article in full and share it with the ones you love.